everybody. We're back again to talk a little college football.
It's near the end, folks.
We just finished the final
regular
season week. So we're going to recap. That's week 13.
It's pretty eventful.
It was an eventful weekend. And then we will do our predictions for week 14, which is
the last
championship
weekend of the year is basically rivalry week.
Rivalry
In-state
week.
rivals.
Yeah.
Old school smash in the mouth kind of stuff. It's fun.
Yeah. And then we might even throw in a little bonus who we think is going to be week 15. Because week 15 is only one game, Army-Navy.
Yep.
That's all we got at week 15. And then we'll jump into the bowl games. We'll have a bowl game special at some point down to the line here. But let's go ahead and recap the top 15 teams in week 13 first. We had our number 10, Tennessee Vols.
After a
self-destruction against South Carolina.
Came back and beat the doors off of Vanderbilt at home to finish with a 10-win season.
Yeah, all they are now are the commas because we beat the doors off of them.
That's horrible.
56-0 was a pretty good beatdown.
We finished with a 10-2 record.
The best record Tennessee has had since 2003.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. It's
first 10-win season since 2007.
I've been Tennessee Vol fans our whole entire life, so it's good to see Tennessee back. I think it's good for college football too, because you either love Tennessee or you hate them, and it makes good storylines no matter what you get.
Or you're neutral.
Or you're neutral somewhere, yeah. But Tennessee did beat the crap out of Vandy's 56-0. We had Georgia Tech at Georgia.
Georgia kind of flexed their muscles.
Georgia, again, starts out a little slow. Now, it seems Georgia always seems to start out a little slow.
And then the train gets rolling.
And then they get rolling, and their defense, I believe Georgia Tech scored the first touchdown, and then that was it. They never saw anything else again. We'll just shut you down for the rest of the game, 37-14.
And Georgia Tech's new head coach is their interim, which is what
Georgia Tech's interim coach, who just lost by 30-something points and finished the season 4-4, just got signed on as a head coach, so hallelujah, I guess.
Man, they didn't have to look long, did they?
No, just...
You're not going to get another Ed Orgeron, may I remind you?
No, no. But I'm really surprised they didn't go after, honestly, like, Deion. I'm really surprised that they didn't go after Deion Sanders.
I've heard Colorado might be in the running for him.
I think Georgia Tech would have been a perfect place for him. The man played for Atlanta. That was his first played for the Braves in baseball and the Falcons in football. Going into Georgia Tech would have been his backyard. It seems like,
It would have brought hype, but I guess you just want to go with the box standard.
I just want to go, yeah. In one of the biggest games of the day, we had Michigan at Ohio State. Really close.
Outplayed, outcoached, out everything.
Yeah, a really close game till halftime, and then Michigan just
blew the crap
out, just kicked their butt.
At home.
Yeah, so Ohio State, their last home game, lost by 22 points.
Not competitive in the second half.
They weren't competitive hardly at all. They tried to hang on. And Georgia lost their star running back there at some point, too, and still just...
beat the crap out of Georgia Tech.
Beat the crap out of Ohio State.
Georgia Tech. I thought you were
Michigan.
talking about Georgia.
Oh, no, I'm talking about Michigan.
You
Michigan.
were mixing up everything.
I'm mixing up everything. Michigan, yeah, they
ran the ball all over them. They passed the ball all over them. It was non-competitive.
It was not competitive.
Bigger game, Jim Harbaugh, yet again.
Ohio State did not look like they belonged there. They're still way up there because the Big Ten had a really down year as far as quality goes.
There's 3 teams that happen to be...
There's 3 teams in our ranked, and that's it.
And the others are just box standard bowl teams, like the 7-5,
the 7-5. Yeah, there's not a lot in there. But congrats to Michigan. They
yet again going to the Big Ten title game against Purdue.
Yeah. See, that tells you how weak the
Western Division.
That tells you how weak the Big Ten is. We're going to talk about the championship games here in a minute, but the only championship game out there that has an unranked team in it,
Big Ten.
It's Big Ten. We had South Carolina at Clemson.
South Carolina. How about those Gamecocks?
Hey, beat 2 top 10 teams
in a row
to finish out the year.
In a row. How about Shane Beamer? How about him doing that job in his first year 6-6, in his second year 8-4,
8-4, and beat 2 great teams at the end of it.
Do you think Shane Beamer is? I think he could be the right guy if he takes the next step forward.
Could be. Well, see, South Carolina at 8-4, 9-3 is not a bad, deal for them. Of course, they want to be top 10, but you could be 9-3 at South Carolina, and that's not a bad record.
You keep your job firmly in place.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
What a job at the end of the year, though. I'm going to give him props. The Gamecocks are playing their best football at the end of the year.
Yeah, because at the beginning of the year, we were like, uh-oh.
This is a problem, but now we're like, maybe
Pull it all together. Pull it all together, man.
whoever plays them in their bowl game is going to get a whole lot of chicken fury.
Going to get a lot of chicken, yeah. We had Auburn at Alabama. That was not much of a competition on this, 49-20.
Although the Iron Bowl has a lot of history behind it.
The kick six, I mean, that's one of the most famous plays in the history of college football.
Yes.
Came out of that game, so.
But Alabama didn't make it a competitive game at all.
No, they won by 22. It was pretty much a blowout. Another upset, we had Oregon at Oregon State.
Oregon State lied down and played dead in the second half. They gave up a 21-point lead. They got up there and choked it away.
They did.
Against their in-state rival Beavers.
Yeah, and it cost them a shot at the Pac-12 title.
Man, how about Oregon State? They got to feel giddy as a kid in a candy shop.
Yep. Now, Oregon State was ranked. They were ranked 21st, so it wasn't a huge upset, but it was an upset.
That does help Oregon State get a better ball game.
Yeah. We had Iowa State at TCU.
Roadkill.
Iowa State was a 4-win team.
Roadkill.
Yeah. 63.
TCU is a really good team.
62-14. Yeah. TCU, newsflash, is ranked 4th in the country here, and
they're
better than that. Yeah. We had Michigan State at Penn State. Michigan State's bad.
Big game James.
Big game James.
10-2, big game James.
And the only 2 games he lost was the only 2 ranked games he played.
Oh, they're paying him a $10+ million. They paid him a 10-year contract.
I'm sort of down on the Big Ten this year because there's no competition inside that place.
At least this year.
At least this year. There will be in the future if USC and UCLA get there. We had number 14 Utah at Colorado. Colorado is not good either.
They're 1-11. That's a special kind of bad.
Yeah, so that gave us a 63-21. And another
LSU crapped the bed here. I'm gonna jump ahead. Texas A&M LSU had a perfect shot right there in front of you, and you trip on a pebble.
Gave up 15 points. But Texas A&M needed it. Jimbo Fisher needed that so bad.
Oh, yes, he did.
If they would have lost that game,
he would have turned into the ultimate snake oil salesman. He would have slithered out of there.
And they still finished 5-7.
Yeah, no bowl game.
And out of a bowl game. But if they would have went 4-8,
that would have put up the pitchforks.
But LSU really should have won that. I mean, they could have won that, had a chance to go win the SEC championship, and then go to a playoff. Now, even if they slip up and win the SEC championship,
they got to just deal with a big bowl game.
They're just going to a bowl game is all they're doing, yeah. We had number 15 Notre Dame at number 6 USC, and USC
got the offense going, and they won by 11 over their rival Notre Dame.
Lincoln Riley went out there with about 820 transfers and made that a good team.
Now, the Pac-12 title game is very pivotal.
Yeah, we got USC, Utah coming up, and that's going to be a very
pivotal.
Utah
gave them their only loss.
Yeah, while 1 point.
Yes.
That's going to be a good one coming up. We had Kansas State.
Kansas got beat up on, but positive for the Jayhawk fans. They look forward to a bowl game for the first time in a while.
How about Kansas going to a bowl game? Congrats to the Jayhawks going to a bowl game in football.
6-6. I mean, you can't. Last year they were 2-10. This year under Lance Leipold, their second year, 6-6.
Do you think
that's a 4-game improvement?
Do you think they might make another 4-game improvement, be 10-2 next year? No, but still though, Kansas going to a bowl game is fantastic.
I mean, it's very pleasant when you see a normal bottom dweller rise up out of the ashes and become a decent team.
Yep. And then last but not least, we had Washington at Washington State. And,
man, 51 points. They cooked them like a chicken and
Washington State's not very good either. So,
but Washington, their offense is. They score about 43 points a game.
But they gave up 51. So So Washington won that one. All right, that is our recap of Week 13. Do we want to do a dumpster fire?
Yes, why not?
this
Keep the
week.
tradition.
We got one more dumpster fire for you here in the college football. And here she comes.
Dumpster fire of the week.
Yeah. And our dumpster fire is
A surprise
a surprise. The second half
for Ohio
for
State.
Ohio State, man, they
Just
had
laid down and died in the second half.
they had everything in front of them,
I mean, everything.
everything, and they played decently up till halftime.
And then after that, it was a disaster.
They only got 3 points in the second half, and that was with like 7 minutes left in the game. They
Ohio
got 3
State had
points.
some isry because I can't say M because Ohio State bans the word M from any language they use.
Oh, they had misery with a capital M.
With an M.
A capital
With
M.
an M.
Give us how much? What did their defense give up?
252 yards rushing.
Man,
Urban Meyer said that they're going to stop the run. They're going to make adjustments. They only gave up 150 of those in the second half.
they gave up 150 rushing in the second half.
And two big explosive plays. Explosive plays were the tail of this game.
And your Heisman favorite quarterback, what did he do in the second half?
Threw 2 picks and no touchdowns.
Threw 2 interceptions in the second half.
2 on their last 2 possessions.
So,
And
again, I've been down on the Big Ten the entire year because there's not been any competition.
Ohio State even had more first downs, but got outscored by 22.
Yeah,
And Michigan had more. They've had 6 plays that went for 45 plus or more.
yeah, they were 1 point away from being doubled up. Think about that.
At home,
At home.
in the shoe,
Mm-hmm.
where Ohio State is formidable.
Mm-hmm.
And they
Maybe
completely crapped the bed.
maybe they're not as good as people think they are. Or not as people think they are, as the media says they are. Sports media. I don't know. But anyways, they stunk it up. It wasn't even competitive.
You want to know what smelly nuts feel like smelly, like burnt nuts smells like?
Ohio State got roasted, man. And
Roasted
I
on an
mean
open
roasted.
flame. Did Brutus. I hope
Big
he's
time.
okay.
They were only 5 of 16 on third downs, less than 33%, like 32% on third downs.
Yeah, that's a key part of the game.
Yeah.
You always get off the field.
Mhm.
Defense giving up a bunch of big plays. You got to stay on the field.
They only rushed for 143 yards the entire game.
And that was between like 4 quarters, so they only averaged like 13 rushing yards in the second half. I mean, all of that was in the first half.
That's because they were so far behind. They were
had
trying
pass
to
the
catch
ball,
up.
And Michigan knew they were passing.
And they were doing passing, and Stroud couldn't do it and threw 2 picks. They got a field goal. But anyways, that is our dumpster fire.
Who would have thought the Buckeyes would
I would not have thought that, no, the whole entire year, but there it is. All right, let's jump into championship week.
There's going to be some pivotal games.
We have some pivotal games.
Well, probably the most pivotal one is on Friday night.
We actually have a Friday night. This will determine the new rankings came out. Number 1 is still
Georgia,
Number 2 is now
Michigan,
Michigan. Number 3,
TCU,
TCU. Number 4,
USC.
USC. And they play Friday night in the Pac-12 championship game against the only team that beat them,
Utah.
Utah. Utah won a 1-point game earlier in this year. So this is a bit of a revenge game. USC's only favored by 2.5. Who do you think is going to win that? Do you
I
think
want to pick
wins
USC
it?
to take revenge and get that spot because they need to win.
They do need to win. Can they do it?
Can they get the Pac-12 into the playoff for the first time since 2016? Can they?
Maybe. We'll see. Saturday, we jump into
Another big game.
the Big 12 championship. TCU has to win to make the playoffs, too. They have
Kansas State on the
State.
plate. Can they do it again like they've done 12 times?
TCU, again, I think for the last 5 games, TCU's been favored by 2.5. And they're favored by 2.5 on this one.
Talk about consistency.
Because they are consistent 2.5 point favorite in every game they play.
In every game, they pull whatever miracle out of their back pocket they can.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I swear, TCU does every game.
I think TCU wins this one too.
You wanna have them go to the playoff?
We got
You want some Horned Frogs in the playoff, people?
some Horned Frogs in the playoff. I think, yeah. I think we do. And then the SEC championship is pretty much a gimme. LSU at Georgia. LSU's had a great year, but Georgia's going to win that one. Georgia's favored by 17.5.
Do you think
That's
they
how
win by
good.
17?
That's not how good LSU. That's not how bad LSU is. That's how good Georgia is.
They get 5-star recruits like it's candy on Halloween.
But I probably don't think it's 17.5. I probably will take LSU plus 17.5, but I still think Georgia wins by 10 to 12 points.
Literally the top dog.
They will be the top dog.
Get it?
Oh yes, they will.
You said a bad pun before. I'm going to say a
I'm
bad
gonna say
pun
a bad
now.
pun now. The AAC will be UCF at Tulane.
You don't usually
Tulane
see
does host it.
You don't usually see Tulane good.
Tulane's 10-2, and if they win this, we'll probably play in the Cotton Bowl.
How about the Green Wave?
How about the Green?
Hopefully it's not full of algae.
They're favored by 4 with UCF.
I hope that's not the reason why they're called green.
I know. We're pulling for a lot of favorites here, but well, we didn't pull for Georgia. We got LSU and the points on them. Georgia's still going to win, but we got LSU. I think Tulane probably pulls the 4 points. They've actually looked pretty good here. People haven't paid a lot of attention to them because it's Tulane, and you normally don't pay attention to Tulane playing football. But they've actually had a pretty. They sort of remind me of the last year's Cincinnati.
Sort of.
They're not as good as Cincinnati, but they're winning and making a pretty good team of themselves. So, we got the Big Ten championship, which again is the only championship which does not have 2 ranked teams playing each other.
And
they have a 4-loss Purdue.
This is more relevant for Michigan than anything else.
Now Michigan is favored by 17 again.
I would pick the Wolverines.
I think
They played like a top 10 team.
Yeah, I think they scored 40 points again this week. So
expect the Wolverines, U of M, in the postseason.
Again, yeah. They will remain number 2. Georgia remains number 1, and Michigan remains number 2.
And number 2.
And then the ACC championship, we got Clemson at North Carolina.
To cap off our night of championship madness.
Yeah, I do think probably Clemson wins coming off of
a loss
like that.
So they will go to 11-2, which is pretty box standard for them.
Yeah, and then I think they end up going to the Orange Bowl. So
how fitting, their main color is orange.
The main color is orange. And then so that is our predictions for the bowl games. We'll throw a little extra prediction in. We got Army Navy.
Which is one of my favorites.
It is one of our favorite.
I love Army and I love Navy, so I usually can't pick either team.
This is a really close one. We got 4-7 Navy against 5-6 Army. Army's favored by 1.5.
Army plays for a bowl game if they win.
Yeah, I might lean towards Navy just because I'm a Roger Staubach fan.
But
Roger Staubach. Yeah,
team.
You're not gonna hate either one of them.
I mean,
it's just a good, fun game to watch.
America's game.
It's
Triple option.
It is.
Pouch it in the mouth.
Yeah, run, the baby,
ball.
run.
That's why it's a classic every year.
Yeah, but that's it. College football is done except for the bowls.
We will see you again after those bowls, probably. Before those bowls, probably.
Yeah, once the bowls are announced, we'll probably come out and talk about the top bowls. We do think that, like I said, Clemson will probably go
to the Orange
Bowl, and they'll either play Ohio State or Tennessee there. Alabama will probably end up in the Sugar Bowl, probably playing Kansas State. Tulane will be in the Cotton Bowl and will play maybe Tennessee or another team. But we'll see how things rattle out there. It just depends on how these last championship games go. If USC would happen to lose or TCU happen to lose, Ohio State would jump in, and then Tennessee would probably go to the Orange Bowl and end up playing Clemson. So it's all in play, but it's football. It's fun. So we hope you had fun with us this year. We had fun. Again, we'll do one last show here coming up, but We hope you had fun. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button,
Groovy baby button.
hit the groovy baby button over here somewhere, and we'll see you for bowls.
See you next week. Or in the next 2 weeks.
Or in the next 2 weeks, probably.
Maybe
2 weeks, probably.
Figure that out.
Yeah. Well, maybe. Anyways, we'll see you.